I wasn't supposed to be awake. Midnight had already swallowed the city outside, and my apartment hummed with the dull monotony of an old refrigerator and the occasional car passing beneath my window. My laptop sat open, the glow from its screen casting pale shadows across the room. I thought I was alone, absolutely alone, but something felt off. I can't describe it, not fully. A feeling like static on your skin, like the air itself was listening. I glanced at the browser window I had left open, half forgotten, and that's when it happened. The file, just a small, nondescript icon, not a glitch, not a random artifact of the screen. It blinked back at me, almost like it was acknowledging me. I laughed nervously, telling myself I was tired. I've spent hours on the internet, digging through corners that no sane person should enter. I know paranoia. I know when my imagination is playing tricks, but this was different. The shadows in my room seemed to lean closer, stretching toward the faint light. Every time I blinked, I could swear the icon moved slightly, shifting its position just enough to make me doubt myself. I felt the familiar pulse of curiosity, the dangerous kind, the one that whispers, just a little closer, just one click, and you'll see. I should have closed the laptop, walked away, maybe even deleted the file without opening it, but I didn't. I couldn't. Something about it demanded my attention, like it had been waiting for me. And I knew, deep down, that whatever happened next, there would be no going back. And in that instant, I realized the worst part. It wasn't just watching me. It was waiting. I've always been drawn to the corners of the internet that most people avoid. The kind of places where curiosity feels dangerous but irresistible. It starts innocently. An obscure forum post, a strange video embedded in a discussion thread, someone claiming to have found something no one else should see. Most of the time, it's nothing more than a dead link or a prank. But every so often, something real slips through the cracks. It was on a forum called The Other Side, a place that required invitations, passwords, and an almost absurd dedication to anonymity. Threads appeared and disappeared in hours, users posting cryptic warnings in broken English. Do not open it. They watch. Once it knows, it will never forget. Of course, I laughed. My friends, if I had dared tell them, would have called me paranoid, or obsessive, or just plain insane. But there's something about anonymity that sharpens the mind, that tempts you to ignore the rules. The link appeared in a thread titled simply, "The File No One Talks About." It was almost too obvious, the kind of naming that screams danger without any subtlety. The post had one comment: "If you're reading this, it's already too late." I hesitated. Something in the pit of my stomach warned me, but I was already leaning in, hovering my mouse over the link before I clicked. I noticed the thread's metadata. It was posted 3 years ago, yet still active, bumping up every few weeks by someone or something named Only Watcher. Every download count, every reply, seemed deliberately vague. There were rumors in the forum. People who had opened it vanished from all online presence, some claiming that their webcams blinked on when they were alone, or that they saw images of themselves in files they never downloaded. I remember typing a private message to the original poster. "What exactly is this file?" The response was almost immediate, unnervingly concise. "It sees you. You will see it." Even now, recalling the words sends a shiver down my spine. But curiosity outweighed caution. I reminded myself it was just a file, bits of data, nothing more. I told myself that people love to exaggerate, that these stories were designed to scare weak minds. Still, there was something almost alive about the file's description. The forum post hinted at contents beyond comprehension, experiences that no one could explain. "No one who downloaded this has ever talked about it. Some never come back," the post warned. And for reasons I cannot fully articulate, that warning did not frighten me. It drew me in. I spent hours tracing the origin, checking mirrors, and reading through every thread, every anecdote, every cryptic warning. With each detail, my normal life, the hum of my apartment, the comfort of my bed, the distant sound of traffic, felt increasingly fragile, almost artificial. It was like I was straddling two realities, the mundane and the forbidden. Finally I found it. The download link, tucked behind 3 proxies and multiple capture verifications, glowing faintly on the page like an unholy beacon. My hand hovered over the mouse, fingers trembling, heart hammering, not from fear, but anticipation. I told myself it was just curiosity, just exploration. But deep down, I already knew that clicking that button would change everything. And yet I clicked. The file began to download, innocuous at first, its progress bar crawling across the screen. But as it neared completion, a strange sense of being observed prickled the back of my neck. I looked around my apartment. Nothing, yet everything felt wrong. It was just a file, nothing more. But even as I reassured myself, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone, that the file, in some way, had already found me. The cursor hovered over the file as if hesitating, and I swear it felt intentional, like it was taunting me. The file name was almost comically mundane-document_9347.exe, but there was something about the sequence of numbers, the way the letters were spaced, that made it feel deliberate. I clicked at first. Nothing happened. Just a white screen, a small spinning icon, and the soft hum of my laptop. I laughed nervously. "Of course," I muttered. "It's probably just some stupid corrupted file. Nothing supernatural here." But almost immediately, the computer stuttered. The cursor froze mid-air, then jerked sharply to the top left corner. The screen flickered, as if struggling to display something it didn't want me to see. Images began to flash. At first, just static, like the TV when the signal cuts out. Then shapes, blurry and abstract, forming for brief moments before dissolving. Faces, almost human, almost familiar, twisted in silent screams. I leaned back, squinting at the screen. "Okay," I said aloud, partly to ground myself. "I need to stop imagining things. This is just a weird animation, just a damn glitch." But then the whispers began. Soft, distant, like someone speaking directly into my ear but just out of reach. I turned around, scanning the room. Empty. My apartment was quiet. Too quiet, the kind of silence that presses against your eardrums and makes your heart race. The file pulsed once, faintly, as if acknowledging my attention. I thought I was joking, talking to myself. "You're just a file. Nothing more. Nothing alive." And yet, when I typed that, the screen flickered again, almost like a heartbeat, almost like it was responding. I tried to close it. Task Manager, force quit. Nothing worked. The file sat there, innocuous and malicious all at once. And then I noticed the cursor moving not on its own exactly, but in tiny, deliberate shifts, as if guiding my attention towards something I didn't want to see. A folder had appeared on my desktop. I hadn't created it. Its name was simply watching_you. A chill ran down my spine. But I laughed bitterly. "This is ridiculous," I muttered, rubbing my eyes. Some programmer's idea of a joke. Some creepy, attention-starved hacker. I wanted to believe that. But deep down I knew better. Files like this have histories, legends. People talk about them in hushed tones on obscure forums. About how they get inside your life, your room, your very mind. I glanced at the folder. The first file inside was empty. Just a blank icon. I clicked it anyway. My screen flickered violently, then stabilized. And then, a single line of text appeared. "I see you." I froze. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. I wanted to scream, to close everything, to run, but my hand hovered, compelled to interact, compelled to watch. It was like staring into a mirror that shouldn't exist, reflecting not just me but something older, something patient. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just a file. It was aware. It was watching me back, and it was learning. Every movement, every hesitation, every twitch of my eye it knew. I shut the laptop abruptly, breathing hard, trying to convince myself I was imagining it all. But even with the screen off, I could feel it. A weight, subtle but insistent, pressing from somewhere beyond the glass. And I knew that this was only the beginning. The night after I first opened the file, my apartment felt different. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the screen blinking in my mind, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. I tried to convince myself it was just stress, lack of sleep, overexposure to forums filled with conspiracy junkies and urban legends. But reality, as I had known it, was starting to fracture. It began with small things. My webcam light flickered when no program was using.